Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today we're going to do an alcohol marker illustration, and I think this is the third poinsettia I've drawn this season, but I like them. I hope you do too, because they're fun to draw. I'm starting off using a water-based marker, and this is one of the new dot markers from Ohuhu, and I'm using this kind of soft, it's almost like a camel color, light brown to sketch. And this is nice because it's such a light color that it's not going to be really obvious if, say, my sketch is a little messy or if I want to refine things down the road. Oftentimes I'll just use a colored pencil, but these markers are new to me. They came in my Ohuhu gift box, and I thought it'd be fun to try them out. And I think this is just such a nice color. All of these dot-to-dot markers have a very, soft tone to them, so they're just very, they're very easy to work with and easy to look at. Now I am using my alcohol markers. I just looked at my swatches and chose, probably like a dozen colors that were going to work good for this. I love to do shades of teal and red and green together, a little bit of orange. I think those colors just work really well. They're Christmassy enough, but they're also kind of almost feel a little bit modern, I guess. And I really thought that it would go good for this illustration. And I'm using a reference photo that I found on Unsplash. It was like a row of little bottles, glass bottles with a little arrangement of a poinsettia flower and some vines with some berries. And I thought this would be really fun. Plus, the dot-to-dot markers have, they have like a dot end, so it's so easy to do berries. So I thought that'll be fun. That'll be fun to play with and get used to these new to me markers. I think they're pretty popular in like the planner community, but I don't do paper planners because I am like the most inefficient person. If I have a paper planner, I just need to put it on a notes app on my phone because otherwise I get too wrapped up in the decorating of making the planner pretty than I do actually planning anything and getting anything done. But I guess that's part of the fun of the hobby. But I use my planner for more, I guess when I'm planning, I want it to be more efficient than, decorative, but still you can get caught up in making it pretty. It's kind of like scrapbooking, I guess. So I'm just starting off by doing a kind of flat fill on the petals and leaves, just with like a light pale kind of shade of reddish pink and also a light color of green. And I just kind of experimented. First, I was like, maybe I will do some negative painting and I'll paint around the lighter colored veins. But, honestly, that would have been easier to do with a lighter colored pencil because colored pencils are opaque enough to go over marker. And especially if you have like a wax-based pencil, and it can be any brand, it doesn't have to be expensive. And this paper here it's one of the Ohuhu pads. It's the one that has it's my favorite one for markers actually. It's the one that's got the embossed black cover. It's a hardcover book. I've been using this book for a couple of years. It has tons of pages in it, and I just really like it because I can easily layer up colored pencil if I want to, because it's got a little bit of tooth. It's not slick like a lot of marker papers and marker cardstocks are just very slick and it's hard to put pencil on top. This has a little bit of tooth to it, so if I decide that I want to add a little colored pencil, it will take it. But it's also smooth enough that I don't feel like I'm going to damage my marker nibs or any of my fine liners with it as well. So it's just kind of like a really great all around paper, and it blends really well. Now it does bleed through, so I have a little plastic sheet behind the page. It came with the markers, and that just keeps me from ruining the next page in the book, but it does bleed through to the back side, so that's something to keep in mind. If you don't like that, you can find a bleed proof marker paper. Ohuhu makes one. You can also find them from a company called Render. I'm sure there are others, I just don't know about them. I've only tried those two, and honestly, in my experience, they both are very similar. So I'd go with a cheaper one personally, but you can do whatever you want. Everybody's different. Everyone has different opinions on those things. And so for the blend here, I'm starting off with kind of this wine red color. I think it's called Old Red. And then I'm like blending in kind of like a magenta, a deep magenta, then a coral red actually. And then if I need to, I'll go back over with a light. So I just basically try to get the darkest edge into the center of the flower where the smaller petals will be casting a shadow and it would be more away from the light. And then as I work to the outer side of the petal, I want it to get lighter. Or if I've got an overlapping edge, I want that edge to be lighter. And you'll notice that the water-based markers, those dot pens that I sketched with, are not interfering at all with my alcohol ink. So I can use those, the alcohol markers over those dot pens, and I can use the dot pens over the marker. And it's like they don't see each other. They don't interfere with each other. You can layer them back and forth, and they do not bother the other media, which is really something you want to keep in mind when you're working with mixed media. You want to make sure that whatever you put on top of something else isn't going to make it run or make it smudge out unless you're trying to get it to do that. Like if I wanted to use those pens, the dot to dot markers for like sketching a watercolor illustration, and then I want to watercolor paint over that, they would bleed with the watercolor. But if I used a pen that was in the same tone of whatever I was painting, like say I was painting a lilac and I sketched it in purple and then I wanted to paint over it, I wouldn't mind that those lines bled out. I'd want it to do that. So, just make sure that you think about how your different supplies will interact with each other as you're going. And I really like the shading that I got there. I mean, I wasn't too fussy about it, but it blended pretty well. And reds tend to blend a little harder. So as long as you really saturate the paper and you have a good variety of colors, you can do a pretty good job. Now here, I'm just using the dot marker to make berries. I mean, it's so easy. Why not, right? I'm kind of doing just like bittersweet berries, or maybe they're called winter berries. I'm not sure. That you always see them growing this like in the fall time. And so I used the orange with a dot marker, and then I went in with one of the reds that I had used on the poinsettia and just kind of added some little dots in little like kind of like colored some of them in, added some shading just to give it a little variety and make it look a little bit more Christmassy by having some of those redder berries in there too. But I like the orange because that orange color looks really nice with the aqua of the bottle, I think. So, you can push colors. It's your illustration. You can change your colors up to make it meet your needs and make it meet your aesthetics, because start off with a good reference photo and then make your illustration reflect more of your personality and your style. I'm also adding in some more little tiny stems from the berries to go directly to the larger stem, just to kind of connect them so they're not just all floating and scattered. Although there's nothing wrong with that. I think it adds a little bit of continuity when you have a few little stems here and there. Then I decided that I was going to use one of the browns, because remember how I said these dot markers are more subtle? I think they're definitely more for planners. And there's a real big trend, I think, in the planner community to use these more softer tones, not to have everything really contrasty and really bright. Well, I used that brown. I think it was a little bit darker than the brown I sketched in, but they're both very light browns. And I decided to draw in the veins with that on the petals and on the stem. And I think that that's such a subtle effect, but you still get that pattern of the veining. And I think it looks pretty nice. And this is the benefit of having both an alcohol pen and a water-based pen. You can go back and forth and it doesn't smudge out anything. It doesn't feather out anything. And you're able to keep crisp lines. Because if I tried to do those really fine lines with an alcohol marker, it would fuzz a little bit probably with the color underneath. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're working. It's like, what will give me the result that I want? And I'm just using this brown to give me any crisp lines that I wanted, that I felt were lacking with my illustration. I thought it would be pretty to get some metallics in, because this is kind of a Christmassy illustration. And plus, I'm in my sketchbook. You can do whatever you want in a sketchbook. Nobody has to see it if you don't want them to. And I thought some gold berries would look really festive, and also added gold to the center of that flower. If you make a mistake and get outside the lines, you can always use a white pen to clean it up a little bit. I do that sometimes. And a white marker is wonderful for adding opaque highlights on top of glass. And that way you can be a little more freer when you're using your markers, because you're not worried about reserving that white if you don't want to. So, there's so many different ways that you can get the effects that you want. You can add little highlights on the berries with a white pen if you want to. I don't think that's necessary. It's up to you though. Experiment, see what you like. That's the only way you're going to learn. And then I decided to brighten up some of the highlight areas with some colored pencils. I don't know if it really needed that or not, but it's fun to do. It's fun to experiment, and I was really enjoying myself doing this illustration. So I figured, why not? I always have my wax-based colored pencils in a rack next to my workspace. So it's so easy just to grab the color that I need to tweak something in a watercolor or marker illustration. So I highly recommend, if you have space, to have your supplies out where you're going to use them. I don't keep my pencils, and I usually don't keep my markers in cases, because unless it's like a big open case where I can easily grab stuff, because I don't tend to use them that way. If I have to pull each thing out of a little slot, I'm not going to use it. Some people love that storage organization, and you just got to figure out what's right for you. And I just encourage you to experiment and find the best way to to store your supplies so that you'll actually use them. I know if you've got little kids or pets around, you may not want open storage, but for me, it's a must so that I will actually use my supplies. And I mix my supplies together. You've probably seen me use 3 different brands of pencils in the little tweaking there because I keep them all together in the same rack so I can quickly grab what I need. And I love to use pencils for adding extra shading onto my pieces because it really magnifies what you can do with your markers. It kind of multiplies them. So if you only have enough money for a small set of markers, but you got some colored pencils, you have already just magnified what you can do with them. I hope you found this little time lapse fun and inspiring and hopefully educational. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, happy crafting.